What if one day your entire life is no longer yours? Imagine waking up one day and realizing everything. Your bank account is frozen. Your home is out of your control. Every decision is made for you. For Wendy Williams, this isn't a nightmare. It's a bitter reality. And now she's fighting back, speaking out against that system holding her captive. How much control do you really have over your own freedom? Welcome back to Never Ending Celebrities. Before we dive deeper, let's talk about Wendy Williams. She's a name everyone recognizes, the queen of daytime TV, the woman who built a career on saying what no one else dared to say. She was bold, fearless, and sometimes brutal. But this time, she wasn't the one spilling the tea. She was the story. Her latest interview wasn't just shocking, it was painful. Because instead of the loud, confident Wendy we knew, we saw someone pleading for her freedom. Now, here's the thing. We've watched Wendy battle a lot. Health issues, public meltdowns, the end of her long-running TV show. But no one expected her to lose control over her own life. And yet, that's exactly what happened. Now, let's pause here. What is a guardianship really? Well, it's supposed to protect people who can't manage their own affairs, whether it's because of age, illness, or extreme circumstances. Sounds reasonable, right? I know that. But here's the problem. What happens when the system meant to protect you ends up trapping you instead? If a system designed for protection can turn into a prison, then how many others have been caught in the same web without anyone noticing? She says she has no control over her money. She's not allowed to make basic life choices. And worst of all, she's struggling to prove she's capable. Because once you're under a guardianship, getting out is nearly impossible. Now, think about this. Wendy Williams is not just some random person. She's a media powerhouse, a woman who spent decades commanding the spotlight. And yet, despite all of her fame, all her success, she's in a position where she has to fight for her own rights. How did this happen? Was this a necessary intervention, or was it a calculated move to take control of Wendy's fortune? Well, that's where things get messy. In early 2022, Wells Fargo froze her bank accounts, claiming she was of unsounded mind. Her team fought back, but soon after, a court-ordered guardianship was put in place. Just like that, she lost control of her own independence. The public reaction? Absolute outrage. People are asking, how does a woman who made a multi-million-dollar empire suddenly lose all control? Is she just another unfit person to manage her own life? Or is this just another example of the system taking power away from the very people it claims to protect? And here's where it gets even scarier. The truth is locked behind legal walls, court orders, unsealed documents, private financial agreements. We don't know anything, and that's why this situation is terrifying. Some say Wendy is in crisis, that she needs help, structure, and protection. Others say this is just another case of a powerful woman being stripped of her autonomy. Let's get real. A guardianship is supposed to be about protection. It's meant for people who truly can't take care of themselves. But what happens when the system decides who's fit and who isn't? Wendy Williams' situation has sparked a serious conversation. On one side, people argue that her guardianship was necessary. They claim she's been struggling with serious health problems, erratic behavior, and financial mismanagement. They say without it, she could have lost everything. But on the other side, the story gets a lot darker. Because guardianship is about control. And the moment someone else gets the legal right to make decisions for you, getting that power back, nope, not a single chance. Because once you're in, you may never get out. The very system meant to protect a person can also strip them of their basic freedoms. They can't choose how to spend their money. They can't sign contracts. In extreme matters, they can't even decide where they live or who they see. And here's the real kicker. They don't even need to be legally declared unfit for this to happen. This is where things get really troubling. A guardianship can start from a single legal petition. Sometimes it's filled by a concerned family member. Other times, it's a financial institution, a lawyer, or even the court itself. If a judge approves it, the person loses control over their life overnight. And it's not just about money. They might be forced into medical treatments they don't want, moved into homes they never agreed to, and even kept away from their loved ones. And once a guardianship is in place, challenging it is a nightmare. But where do we draw the line between protection and control? And who decides when help turns into something more sinister? The legal system is built to favor the guardians, not the people under them. Even when someone begs to be released, they have to prove, in court, that they're capable of making their own decisions. And ironically, the very fact that they're in a guardianship is often used as evidence that they can't take care of themselves. It's a complete trap. And let's talk about who profits from this system. Because of course, someone always does. Lawyers, financial institutions, and court-appointed guardians often charge outrageous fees for their services. And guess where that money comes from? The very person they're supposed to be protecting. We all know that. In some situations, millions of dollars are drained from the person's estate before they even realize what's happening. And if that person happens to be a celebrity with a lifetime of earning, properties, and brand deals, well, suddenly the system has every reason to keep them locked in. Wendy Williams isn't the first high-profile figure to be placed under guardianship. Britney Spears fought her own battle for 13 years before finally breaking out free. And her story opened the world's eyes to just how easily someone can be stripped from their rights. Now, with Wendy's care unfolding, the same red flags are showing up. And here's the uncomfortable question. Is this really about Wendy's well-being? Or is she another high-profile figure caught in a system that profits from control? Let's be real. This isn't just about Wendy Williams. It's about a broken system that can take away a person's rights, their voice, and their ability to fight back, all under the name of protection. In Wendy's story, we've seen how the line between help and control can blur dangerously fast. What started as an interference due to alleged financial mismanagement quickly got worse into something much bigger, full legal mess over her life. It's a loophole in the system that allows guardianship to become a permanent prison. And the unsettling truth, this system doesn't just affect celebrities. Thousands of people, many of them elderly, disabled, or struggling with mental health issues, are placed under guardianship every year. Once that happens, their lives are no longer in their own hands. And even if they recover, even if they prove they're capable, it can take years, sometimes decades, to get out. If there's one thing Wendy Williams has always been, it's outspoken. She created her career on raw honesty, unfiltered opinions, and a strong sense of self. But now she's fighting just to be heard. And this is literally shocking. If a woman like Wendy Williams, who once dominated daytime television, can be silenced in this way, what does that mean for the rest of us? It means that the system isn't developed to give people a second chance. It's manipulation to control. Because just think, what happens when the person making decisions about your life has no real accountability? Who's keeping them in check? Who's ensuring that the guardianship actually serves the person it's supposed to protect? And now, let's move to the media's role in all of this. Wendy has been shown as unstable, chaotic, and helpless. But is that the full picture? Or is it a narrative that benefits those who want to keep her wrapped around their fingers, choosing what's wrong and right for her? We've seen this pattern many times, even if it's Britney Spears, Amanda Bynes, and currently Wendy Williams. Their struggles were bigger. Their lowest moments turned into eye-catching headlines, and the more the media painted them as incapable, the easier it became to justify taking away their rights. That's what makes Wendy's example so important. It's exposing how easy it is for power to be taken from someone, and how hard it is to get it back. Here's something most people don't realize. Once a guardianship is in place, the person under it loses almost all legal power. They can't hire their own lawyer. They can't challenge decisions in court. and in many incidents, they don't even have access to the money they'd need to fight back. Imagine how you fight for your rights when you don't even have control over your own bank account. If you can't hire your own lawyer, access your own money, or even decide where you live, are you truly free at all? In Wendy's problem, her finances were put under a guardianship, meaning even if she wanted to hire a top legal team, she'd need permission from the very system she's trying to escape. We've seen matters where court-appointed guardians drain the estates from the people they're supposed to help. Fees pile up, assets disappear, and by the time the person under this trap regains control, if they ever do, their fortune is gone. Could that be happening here? Could Wendy's wealth be at risk? Right now, Wendy's future depends on whether she can challenge this system successfully, but let's be honest, it won't be easy. The longer a guardianship is in place, the harder it is to undo. But still, Wendy Williams is not the type to back down. If history has shown us anything, it's that Wendy knows how to raise herself. From radio to television to personal struggles, she always found a way to rise again. And if she can turn this battle into a public fight, she might just force people to rethink the entire system. And maybe, just maybe, this message will be a wake-up call that forces real change. Because this guardianship reform isn't just necessary, it's long overdue. And it shouldn't take another high-profile case to prove that. The most important question is, will Wendy Williams ever get her freedom back? Or will she become another warning story of a system that claims to protect, but instead controls? And another thing, who do you think is next? Do you think Wendy Williams can regain control of her life, or is the system too powerful to fight? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And speaking of battles, Drake has finally broken his silence on Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime show diss. Don't forget to watch. Until the next one, stay sharp, stay aware.